Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities. We'll work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities and ETFs that I follow. I'm going to interject my financial opinion across the board here, and we're going to go and dive right into it. So let's dive right into this and start with DXY. So we got the DXY that's lower today, down 0.4%. Which generally tracks what yields do. And that weaker dollar is a tailwind behind a lot of our commodities and precious metals. So a little bit lower dollar today, and we'll see if this is a topping pattern. It's with a topping pattern. We definitely have a lot of selling pressure up here. We fell back down. This is a bounce, and we'll see where this goes from here. I don't know if it's going to turn. It's close to a bearish engulfing pattern, but I'll hold judgment at this time. 2-year yield was slightly higher. So we're slightly higher in the 2-year yield. That's what it looks like, kind of zoomed out. The 10-year yield is right at support, but this doesn't mean it's going to go down. It still could go higher. And the TYX, kind of a mixed bag here. We had the short end of the curve go up, the long end of the curve go down. So I don't think these trends are necessarily broken. They still look like we could go higher with a lot of these different yields. And the dollar could go higher with those higher yields. TYX TNX ratio is continuing to invert. Generally speaking, if we're going into a recession, this would be rising, not inverting, going lower. What is this indicating? It's indicating that the housing market is still strong, that inflation is most likely still a problem, or we've got problems in the bond market, which we probably do. And I think we have a mixture of all of those things. And the asset I'd be watching is oil to see what oil does. Oil and gold. Those are the two assets I would be watching very closely. Bond price is up a little bit today for the 20-year bond ETF, but this is still more or less just in a holding pattern. Gold up to $11 an ounce today. This does look like we could try to be bottoming. We'll see. And I think it's just a matter of time before gold rockets. That's me. We're sitting on top of the pattern. We're right on top of the support level. I know there's some bearish calls out there, but guys, if we break here, it's going to be a big run. And I'm very bullish on gold, very very bullish. If we have oil and oil starts to rocket higher and we get an energy crisis, this is just like the 70s. Gold's positioned on top of this massive pattern, just massive pattern that we are positioned on top of. It's a big flag pattern, which is also a continuation pattern for a cup and handle. So even if this were to dip down a little bit, it doesn't really matter. I think it's still going to rip to the upside, and the pattern is created. It's there. And if the same conditions occur in the 1970s, the 70s had an oil crisis in just America. This is going to be worldwide. If this happens worldwide, we're going to go gangbusters, potentially gangbusters in precious metals. And I mean potentially gangbusters. It could be something that a lot of us have never seen in our life because we haven't been alive long enough. And it could even dwarf the 70s. It could. I'm not saying it will, but it could given certain market conditions. And those market conditions are supply side problems with commodities at a level that we've never seen before, which is going to be highly inflationary and be very destructive of currencies. So that destruction of currencies is going to drive humans into wealth preservation assets. Bonds may not be that wealth preservation asset. If bonds are not that asset, if currencies are not that asset, then what is? We're staring at it on the screen right now. It's going to be gold, silver. Silver does look a little bit better today. We've come on down. We're getting kind of a bounce. We've got a nice, good little, looks like a bullish setup. We'll see where we go. But again, that's just all short term. Long term, guys, Look at this. Look at this pattern, guys. This is the biggest cup and handle we've ever seen in any market of any time. And the price projection of this thing on logarithmic is absolutely ridiculous. Well, let's just do it for the heck of it. Why not, guys? Let's project this thing up. All right. So if we break this, the projections, I've got a projection of about $270 of a potential move in silver if it were to break this and run. Platinum. So platinum up a little bit today, and we've come back down. We're getting a little bit of a, we could get a little bit of a bounce here. This is a lower opening price and a close above the 50th percent, so we could try to bounce a little bit. We'll have to see what the bounce looks like. But I like platinum down here, guys. This looks pretty good down here. I think I might start doing a sprinkle linkle dinkle in there, right? XAU to gold ratio popping a little bit higher, which means the gold and silver mining companies are coming to life against gold. Again, my eyes are set on this trend line. We break that trend line. Again, we've got higher lows, stepping up into it. And we break that trend line, you're going to see finding value go uber bullish on gold and silver mining companies if we can get up above here. Everyone is bearish against it. No one's long. This is like a really good setup to get extremely long when we break out of this pattern here. I'm still long before it, but I will be longer if we get above that. CRB index up 1.13%. We're still trampolining, jumping for our life here, up and down, up and down, up and down. Eventually, I think we're going to break our way on up higher. CRB to S&P 500, basically neutral today. S&P has been outperforming commodities during the commodity pullback. I think at some point this is going to change, and commodities are going to get lit. We're going to get lit and just rip it. But we're not there yet. GDX doing its outperformance thing. We had a bullish engulfing yesterday. We're up higher today. Hopefully the momentum can continue. GDX doing the same thing, and SILJ doing the same thing in the short term. We could be, breaking some downtrend lines here. So that's what we're seeing in the gold and silver mining companies. The time now is to, we are incredibly cheap, especially SILJ down here. Very cheap areas. What you do is you get long and you stay long and hold. Patience, patience, patience. Crude oil up about 1% today. And it's looking all right. Some of the sectors in the energy service sector went ballistic today. I don't really chase. Do we have some sort of squeezing up here? Could I even come down like that? It's possible that we're getting squeezed up and we could get a break here to the upside. So that's one I would be watching. Natural gas is also firming up. You can see we've got this kind of bowl-shaped pattern going down. Yeah, bowl shape going on. This is kind of that bowl shape. We back way out, and that's what it looks like from a longer term perspective. And there's your kind of bowl shape. Is this stayed down long enough to kind of work our way higher? I think it could be kind of like this bowl shape back in 2001. And then a rocket, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we can also see TTF Dutch natural gas starting to kick quite a bit higher with some pretty big updates. XOP, yeah, you know me, it's looking good, but we've broken this downtrend line. We do have a little bit of a down kind of momentum day to day. What I'm doing is I'm just staying long, guys. I'm staying long. OIH also up quite a bit today, up 1.74%. Still looks good to go on higher, grind its way on up. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, we're probably going to do a full retest here and then work our way higher after that retest is complete, whenever that completes. 1815 is the spot we want to break, the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. URNM up 1%. Doesn't look too bad, guys. We've got our broken downtrend line. We've got a retest move, and let's see if we can move on up to create a new uptrend. URNJ also heading higher, looking quite good, up 1.4%. I'll take it. Hopefully this thing can rip to the motherland when uranium just absolutely gasses it, whenever that is. I think, I'm not expecting that immediately, but at some point we are going to rip. That's my expectation. TAN up 3.63%. This thing's been kind of weird to read on this corner here. But overall, I think longer term, we are going to go higher. COPX up 1.73%. We're still in this grinding of a channel area. And eventually, we are going to hit a large deficit of copper in the mid to late 2020s. And prices could do some crazy things. Lithium up 2.23. This looks like the beginning of a move higher. I think we could see a falling wedge, a breakout, which we've done, and a potential move on up right now. It's happening. REMX is doing the same thing. We're starting to break through its falling wedge. There's the falling wedge pattern, and we could see a large move to the upside for rare earth metals. The S&P 500 is also moving higher along with the NASDAQ. So this is S&P 500 moving on up, and the NASDAQ's moving on up. That does look like we could continue higher in the short term. Emerging markets moving higher. We did have a weaker dollar, down 0.4 for the weaker dollar, so emerging markets is up 0.8%. And we've got support right where we're at. XHB continuing higher. Small little momentum down day, just a teeny bit, but up overall. Mu continues higher, and that does look like we could continue higher for Mu. Copper up 1.76%. Could we get a bounce here? I don't know. Looks like we're just doing the back and forth thing around the support area. Iron ore down a little bit, but I still think we're going to head higher over the longer term. Down, kind of a falling wedge, a breakout. There's your low. It's a higher low. And then we want to break that high there for a new uptrend. That's our goal. Nickel flat, but I think we could see a little bit lower short term just by breaking this resistance line to the downside. It could be a false breakout, but again, guys, I'm not playing the short term here. I'm just playing the long term, but it could break lower. Aluminum down 0.3%. We're right on support. We'll see if we get a bounce here or not. Baltic Dry Index down a little bit. Again, I think we're going to grind our way higher. It's a falling wedge, broken out, higher low. It'll grind its way up. Newcastle coal still basing out. Let it base out. It's going to take some time. We're sitting above this support level right there. And Ethereum up 3.26%. That looks like a breakout. So we're starting to break out here. Could see some momentum to the upside. And Bitcoin is still in the flag pattern. That's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. We do have a 5 p.m. question answer session for the Platinum members at finding-value.com. If you want to join that, love to have you be a part of that discussion, answer whatever questions you guys have. We'll talk a lot about individual companies there and some of the charts, some of my favorite companies, what I like, what looks good. And that's kind of what's going on. So to sum it up, strong upside momentum. Overall stocks look good. Rare earth metals look good. Lithium looks good. It'd be nice to see gold take off at some point. Be nice to see oil to take off. And if we start to see everything kind of move, then it's a everything type rally. But that's what we've got for today. We'll catch you guys later. This is Finding Value.